Zombies. They've shuffled, sprinted, and grown their way through pop culture for decades. From flesh-eating nightmares to hilarious undead chaos, the zombie genre has given us some of the best horror action films of all time. But while movies like Dawn of the Dead and World War Z stole the spotlight, some absolute gems got buried like an apocalypse survivor who forgot to lock the door. That's where we come in. Welcome to Stream Mojo, and today we're counting down the top 10 underrated zombie movies that deserve way more love. So grab your survival gear, double tap that like button, and let's dig up some forgotten horror gold. Because if we've learned anything from zombie flicks, it's that just because something looks dead doesn't mean it won't come back for revenge. Number 10. The Dead Don't Die, 2019. Zombie movies usually go for gut-wrenching terror or all-out action, but The Dead Don't Die? It plays things so deadpan, it's almost undead itself. Directed by Jim Jarmusch, this horror comedy hybrid stars Bill Murray, Adam Driver, and Tilda Swinton in a small town where the dead suddenly rise, and nobody seems all that surprised. Instead of screaming and running, the cops react with the most casual, laid-back attitude possible. Imagine fighting zombies, but with the energy of a guy who just woke up from a nap. The film is packed with dry humor, bizarre characters, and meta-jokes that break the fourth wall. It even pokes fun at typical zombie tropes, as if the movie itself knows it's in a zombie movie. Now, if you're expecting fast-paced horror or nail-biting suspense, this isn't it. But if you want a weird, slow-burn, self-aware zombie flick that feels like a parody of the entire genre, The Dead Don't Die is worth checking out. Just don't expect the characters to care much, even when their neighbors start getting eaten. Number 9. The Horde, 2009. If you ever wondered what would happen if zombies crashed a hardcore action movie, The Horde is your answer. This French horror flick doesn't waste time with slow builds or emotional backstories. It throws you straight into chaos and lets the bullets fly. The setup? A group of corrupt cops storms a high-rise to take down a ruthless gang. But just when you think you're getting a gritty crime thriller, bam, zombie apocalypse. Now, the cops and criminals are forced to team up against a horde of flesh-eating maniacs, because bullets may solve a lot of problems. But zombies don't follow the rules. This movie is brutal, relentless, and packed with over-the-top action. Think Dawn of the Dead meets The Raid, with a sprinkle of Call of Duty, zombies energy. The gore is excessive, the fights are brutal, and the zombies, fast, feral, and seriously pissed off. If you're tired of slow-walking undead and want a high-adrenaline, blood-soaked zombie brawl, The Horde delivers. Just don't get too attached to anyone, because in this movie, survival is a long shot. Number 8. Little Monsters, 2019. Most zombie movies are about survival, but Little Monsters? It's about survival, while babysitting a bunch of kindergartners. When a failed musician, played by Alexander England, tags along on a school field trip, he's hoping to impress the kid's charming teacher, Miss Caroline, played by Lupita Nyong'o. But just as the trip starts to feel like an easy win, a zombie outbreak crashes the party. Now, instead of nap time, it's run for your life time. The twist? Miss Caroline refuses to let the kids know what's happening. She plays it cool, turning the undead mayhem into a fun game to keep them calm, because nothing ruins a field trip faster than watching your bus driver get eaten. Meanwhile, Josh Gad plays an obnoxious kids entertainer who quickly loses his mind when things go south, adding even more chaos to the mix. Little Monsters is hilarious, heartfelt, and full of blood-soaked fun. It proves that not all heroes wear capes. Some wear yellow cardigans and play the ukulele while decapitating zombies. If you like your horror with a side of comedy, this one's a must-watch. Number 7. Fido, 2006. What if zombies weren't just flesh-hungry monsters, but household pets? Fido takes the undead apocalypse and flips it on its rotting head, giving us a 1950s-style satire where zombies have been domesticated and turned into loyal servants. Because apparently, even the Walking Dead can be good employees with the right training collar. In this weird and wonderfully dark comedy, a young boy named Timmy befriends his family's new zombie, Fido. But when Fido's hunger for human flesh kicks in, things get messy, and Timmy has to cover up his pet's little accidents. It's like Lassie, but if Lassie occasionally ate the neighbors. With its bright retro aesthetic and hilarious social commentary on consumerism and conformity, Fido is one of the most original takes on the zombie genre. It's funny, charming, and surprisingly touching, because who knew a brain-eating corpse could make such a lovable best friend? If you're looking for a zombie movie that's weird, witty, and way different from the usual apocalypse chaos, Fido is a buried treasure worth digging up. Just maybe don't try adopting one yourself. Number 6. Overlord, 2018. What's worse than fighting Nazis? Fighting zombie Nazis. Overlord takes the classic World War II action movie and injects it with a dose of horrifying, flesh-munching chaos. The story follows a group of American paratroopers who crash behind enemy lines on the eve of D-Day. But instead of just dodging bullets, they stumble upon a top-secret Nazi experiment turning people into super-powered undead monstrosities. Because apparently, Nazis weren't satisfied with just being regular villains. They had to make zombie super soldiers too. This movie is a wild mix of war drama, horror, and sci-fi insanity. It's got intense battle sequences, grotesque body horror, and some of the nastiest zombie transformations ever put on screen. Imagine Saving Private Ryan, but halfway through, it turns into Resident Evil, with jaw-dropping practical effects, brutal action, and a story that never slows down. Overlord is an underrated gem that deserves way more recognition. If you like your zombie flicks with explosions, gore, and a side of historical madness, this one's a must-watch. Number 5. Maruthan, 2016. Bollywood has its action-packed masala films, but Tamil cinema? It gave us India's first ever zombie thriller. Maruthan is what happens when you mix a classic zombie outbreak with high-octane South Indian action. The story follows a tough, no-nonsense traffic cop, played by Jayam Ravi, who finds himself battling an all-out zombie apocalypse after a mysterious virus spreads across the city. And in true Tamil cinema fashion, there's no shortage of dramatic slow-motion shots, intense fight scenes, and emotional monologues, even when people are getting eaten alive. What makes Maruthan stand out isn't just its unique take on the genre, but how it blends horror, action, and heavy emotions all at once. One minute, you're watching a brutal zombie takedown. The next, you're hit with a heart-wrenching scene that reminds you this is still a Tamil movie at its core. Sure, some of the CGI might not be Hollywood level, but the sheer energy, creativity, and commitment to telling a zombie story in a totally new way make this one worth watching. If you've ever wondered what a South Indian zombie apocalypse with mass fight sequences and emotional family drama would look like, Maruthan is your answer. Number 4. The Night Eats the World, 2018. Most zombie movies focus on big action, massive outbreaks, and people running for their lives. But The Night Eats the World takes a different approach. What if you were completely alone in the apocalypse? This French horror film follows Sam, a guy who goes to a party, falls asleep, and wakes up to find the world has completely fallen apart overnight. Everyone's either dead or undead, and now he's trapped in an apartment building with nothing but supplies, a drum set, and his growing paranoia. It's like Home Alone, but instead of burglars, it's brain-eating corpses. What makes this movie unique is its quiet psychological approach. There's barely any dialogue, just Sam trying to survive, battling isolation, boredom, and the terrifying thought that he might be the last person alive. And when the zombies do show up, they're fast, silent, and absolutely terrifying. If you're looking for a zombie movie that's more about survival, loneliness, and the mental toll of the apocalypse, The Night Eats the World is a hidden gem. Just be warned, this one isn't about non-stop action. It's about what happens when there's nobody left to talk to, except the undead. Number 3, One Cut of the Dead, 2017. If you're looking for a zombie movie that breaks all the rules, One Cut of the Dead is a must-watch. At first glance, it looks like another low-budget zombie film, with an amateur film crew caught in the middle of a zombie outbreak while shooting a live broadcast. Simple, right? Wrong. This movie starts with an opening 37-minute single-take shot that's filled with chaotic zombie action, awkward acting, and shaky camera work. But here's the kicker. It's all fake. As the story unfolds, the film pulls off one of the best twists in zombie movie history. What seems like a poorly executed B-movie turns into an incredibly clever, heartfelt tribute to filmmaking and the zombie genre itself. One Cut of the Dead is a genre-bending masterpiece that's full of surprises. It's laugh-out-loud funny, incredibly well-crafted, and most importantly, it's a love letter to indie filmmaking. Plus, it does all of this while keeping the zombie action and blood flowing. If you're a fan of zombie films and clever twists, this one is an absolute must-see. So, if you're tired of the same old zombie tropes and want something fresh, fun, and totally unexpected, One Cut of the Dead will keep you hooked until the very last frame. Number 2. Go Goa Gone, 2013. Let's be real, zombie movies can get pretty serious and intense. But what if we threw in a slightly wild, out-of-control party vibe with our undead chaos? Enter Go Goa Gone, the first ever Indian zombie comedy. And trust us, it's a blast. Set in the sunny beaches of Goa, the movie follows a group of friends who head out for a vacation, only to find themselves trapped on an island overrun by zombies. And if that wasn't enough of a party, they have to team up with a drug dealer turned zombie apocalypse expert, played by Saif Ali Khan, to figure out how to survive. It's a wild ride with everything from offbeat humor to crazy zombie shootouts. This film brilliantly mixes comedy with horror, as the characters try to survive the apocalypse while cracking jokes and getting into all kinds of crazy situations. From punchy one-liners to laugh-out-loud scenarios, Go Goa Gone proves that even the zombie apocalypse can have its lighter moments. And while zombies are munching on brains, you're munching on popcorn and laughing the whole way through. If you've never seen a horror comedy that actually pulls off the balance between laughs and scares, Go Goa Gone is your ticket to a fun, chaotic, and ridiculously entertaining zombie flick. So grab your sunscreen and get ready for a wild, zombie-infested party. Number 1. Warm Bodies, 2013. Who says zombies can't fall in love? Warm Bodies takes the zombie genre and injects it with a bit of heart, literally and figuratively. This quirky romantic comedy is like Romeo and Juliet, but with more brains and less poetry. The story follows R, a zombie who's tired of the whole eat human flesh and shuffle around aimlessly routine. He meets Julie, a living human, and finds himself inexplicably drawn to her. In an attempt to save her life, R begins to change, literally. As he spends more time with Julie, his humanity starts to return. It's a love story like no other. He's dead inside, but his feelings are anything but lifeless. What makes Warm Bodies so fun is that it blends romance, comedy, and zombie horror in a way that feels fresh and unique. You get the best of both worlds. There's still plenty of action, gore, and zombie encounters, but the real focus is on the unlikely bond between a human and a zombie, and how love can defy even the deadliest odds. If you're in the mood for something that's sweet, funny, and totally unexpected, Warm Bodies is your top pick. It's a zombie rom-com that shows sometimes the best way to heal a broken heart is with a zombie. And that's a wrap on our countdown of the top 10 underrated zombie movies. If you enjoyed the list, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more awesome content. Let us know in the comments which movie you think deserved to be on the list, or if we missed any hidden zombie gems. Until next time, stay spooky, stay undead, and keep watching. Thanks for tuning in to Stream Mojo.